Ronald Biggs, a name synonymous with the Great Train Robbery. But what drove him to participate in this daring heist, and how did he cope with the consequences of his actions? Biggs was a charismatic and confident individual, but also one driven by a desire for excitement and financial security. The Great Train Robbery seemed like the perfect opportunity to achieve both. The robbery was a daring and complex operation, but it was also a violent and traumatic event for those involved. Biggs's role in the heist would haunt him for the rest of his life. Biggs's escape from prison with a rope ladder on the inside thrown over from a van outside marked the beginning of a new life, one of constant looking. After a near skirmish with Interpol in Australia, he left his wife and 3 children in Australia. And then, Biggs arrived in Rio de Janeiro, a city of vibrant colors, infectious rhythms, and warm smiles. It was here that he would finally find a sense of belonging and a chance to start anew. As Biggs settled into his new life, he began to confront the demons of his past, the guilt, the shame, and the regret. But he also found a sense of redemption through his relationships and his newfound sense of purpose. Biggs's story is one of redemption and the human search for forgiveness. As we get to know him, we get to understand the complexities of his mind and the emotional toll of his actions. He fears every face in the street that they might recognize him.
This is the story of Ronald Biggs, a man who lived a life of intrigue and deception, a man who I came to know intimately as both his psychologist and the mother of his son. As I look back on our time together, I am struck by the complexity of Biggs' personality, a man who was both charming and ruthless, generous and selfish.
Despite his flaws, Biggs was a man who was deeply loved by those around him. His Brazilian partner, his son, and his friends all adored him.
I first met Ronald Biggs in Rio de Janeiro. He was a man with a reputation, a man who had lived a life of intrigue and deception. As I got to know him, I began to see beyond the facade. I saw a man who was complex, multifaceted, and deeply human.
You were the first person to really understand me, Marie-Antoinette. You saw beyond the headlines and the hype.
I saw a man who was searching for redemption, for forgiveness, a man who had made mistakes but was trying to make amends.
I was tired of running, Marie-Antoinette. I was tired of looking over my shoulder. I wanted to face the music, to take responsibility for my actions.
I see the pain in your eyes, Ronald. I see the weight of your past bearing down on you. But I also see the good in you, the kindness, the generosity, and I want to help you, to support you, to be with you. And then, something unexpected happened. We fell in love, Ronald. We found each other in the most unlikely of circumstances.
I never thought I'd find happiness again, Marie-Antoinette, but with you, I found a sense of peace, a sense of belonging.
As I look back on our time together, I am struck by the complexity of Ronald's personality. A man who was both charming and ruthless, generous and selfish.
You were the one person who really understood me, Marie-Antoinette. You saw beyond the headlines and the hype.
And I saw a man who was deeply in love with me and with our son. A man who had finally found a sense of peace and belonging. And so, you returned to England. You faced the consequences of your actions, and you began to make amends. You were arrested on your arrival and sent to jail.
I don't deserve you, Marie-Antoinette. I don't deserve your love, your care. Thank you for saving me from myself. Come to me on your own free will.